This isn't your typical courtroom case. Today we're diving into a legal showdown that spans multiple states, drug charges, fraud cases, and an unthinkable accusation involving a child. Pete Garcia, the defendant, walks into court with a lengthy rap sheet and a plea deal on the table. But will the judge buy his plea for probation, or will the ghosts of his past crimes catch up with him today? With emotions running high, victims begging for justice, and a surprise testimony under oath, this case spirals fast. Stay with us because what happens next might leave you speechless.
CR 8852 and 2023 CR 8851. And there is to be restitution, if any, to the complainants in each of those cause numbers. No contact with the complainant and Chapter 62 compliance. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report, state?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
All right. Are there any witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
Not from the state, Your Honor.
All right. State you are opposed.
Yes, Your Honor.
You may proceed.
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, the state would just like to begin. When looking at the PSI, this individual had cases out of, I believe it's Manatee County, Florida, put on probation for a drug offense, 28 grams to 150 kilograms.
Just one second.
As the prosecutor introduces the PSI, or pre-sentencing investigation report, things start unraveling. Garcia's criminal history stretches back nearly 2 decades, crossing state lines from Florida to Texas. The PSI reveals drug offenses, financial fraud, and more. This isn't just a first-time offender asking for leniency. It's someone with a pattern. The state lays it all out with chilling precision, connecting Garcia's past behavior to why he can't be trusted with probation now. What do you think? Should prior offenses weigh this heavily in sentencing?
Within the state, within Bexar County, there was this individual was transferred to TDC and sentenced in 2019 with tampering of a government record. Also 2019, unauthorized use of a motor-propelled vehicle. Again, sentence transferred to TDC on both of those. The victim in the credit card abuse case said in the PSI, quote, "I'm not okay with probation."
And here it comes. The heart-wrenching statements from the victims. One says, "I want him to do time. I'm sure he'll do it to someone else." Another, "I just want him to go to jail forever." These aren't just legal documents. They're raw emotion, scars etched into testimony. And when the victim in the child indecency case says she suffers PTSD and can't sleep, it lands like a gut punch. The judge hears this, the audience hears this, and the stakes just got a whole lot higher.
Case, the indecency with a child by contact, as mentioned in the STIPs, a short 2 or 3 sentences from the report. Juvenile told her mother that Pete Garcia fondled her breast and nipples on 10 separate occasions. She stated the incidents occurred when she was 11 years old, while Pete Garcia resided at the residence. Juvenile did tell one of the interviewers that it never went further than that, but that Pete Garcia told her, quote, "Don't tell your mother," when the incidents occurred. Your Honor, in the PSI, this would be victim number 3, Your Honor, again, with respect to the indecency. When questioned, that victim said, if you just give the state one quick moment, Your Honor. Again, victim said, quote, "I want him to take some accountability. I don't want probation for him. I suffer from really bad PTSD now because of this incident. I get scared to go to sleep because I have really bad dreams. I get scared to be alone with certain people because I never know what could happen." And Your Honor, I think the word there that of course sticks out to me from the victim in our case, the indecency, the incident case, I should say, is that accountability. And to kind of in summation, if you will, Your Honor, the final point is when the defendant, speaking to the accountability, when the defendant was questioned about why he feels he should be granted probation, he told them, quote, "I need to continue with the life I was living." Well, the life he was living, Your Honor, caused all of this harm in Bexar County alone, and of course, criminal offenses stretching back over 15 years. When asked, the defendant said, quote, "I don't want to talk about this right now. I wasn't consuming alcohol or drugs on the date of offense." A lack of accountability and wanting to go back to the life he lived, as if somehow not being under the influence of drugs makes any of this conduct okay, Your Honor. The state respectfully believes that this individual is not qualified or suited, again, under the eyes of the state for probation.
All right, defense.
Just briefly, Your Honor, he definitely does take accountability. He does take responsibility for what happened, and he'll be happy to tell you that if you'd like to ask him. But the point
Does he
is that
want to testify?
you want to tell the judge that you're sorry.
Here's the thing, before you begin, if you want to testify, you're going to.
Now the defense steps in, and here comes the classic pivot. He takes accountability. He's turned his life around. But in these cases, words aren't always enough. The court needs to see remorse, not rehearsed regret. The question now is, will Pete Garcia actually speak? And if he does, will it sound sincere or strategic?
I swear affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
All right, you can lower your name. Sorry, lower your hand and state your name for the record.
Pete Garcia.
All right, Mr. Garcia, just one moment. Mr. De Leon,
Yes, sure.
do you let me know if you need to go for your jury trial?
I don't really want to go that bad, but I appreciate it.
All right, just let me know. All right, we may continue. All right, defense.
He's sworn in, and suddenly the courtroom shifts. Pete Garcia is no longer silent. He's speaking directly to the court. He talks about having a steady job, buying a house, building a future. But he also admits to the past, and yet there's something off. His tone feels more like he's defending a new life than atoning for the old one. Viewers weigh in. Do you believe him? Is this redemption or reputation management?
Chance to pay back the restitution, Your Honor. The last 3 years of my life, for once, I have a good paying job. I just signed a 30-year mortgage 8 months ago. My life is finally on track. And, this incident happened in 2016, 2017. 7 years later, it came up. And I do take full responsibility of all my actions. I do.
So let me ask you, when you say all your actions, are you talking about the case that you have pleaded guilty to, the sex offense, for lack of a better term?
Yes.
And you're talking about the cases that the judge will take into consideration? You take responsibility for all that, right?
Yes.
Now, let me ask you questions. Now, tell the judge, when the prosecutor says go back to the lifestyle or whatever, what did you mean by that?
What I meant was, in the last 3 years, Your Honor, my life has been, me and my spouse, I have been on track. I go out for a month. I come home for a week. I've been doing that for 3 years. I finally, like I said, Your Honor, the life is what I meant was me getting my life back on track, finally living a normal life.
Now, let me ask you, who is your spouse? Is she here today?
Yes.
I'm going to point out for Your Honor. Sure. Right there in the Under Armour shirt, waving her hand. Okay. And then if you were granted probation, is that where you would go back to live?
Yes.
Okay. And let me ask you, are there minor children in that house?
None.
And you have your own children, right?
Yes, they're grown.
What do you mean by grown? How old's the youngest?
21.
Okay. And do they have children?
Yes, my son does.
Okay. Now, if the court will order you to have no contact with minor children, is that something that you'll abide by, first off?
Yes.
Then second of all, you're going to have all kinds of conditions that you need to abide by, such as the sex offender counseling, maintaining employment, reporting to probation. Are you going to do all that stuff?
100% complete. Yes.
And then where are you going to go back to work?
At Halliburton.
What's that?
It's a oil and gas company.
What do you do there?
I'm a CDL driver. I deliver frac sands.
And if your CDL license is suspended or you lose that, where would you go work at that point? Let's just say.
It's a family member that works there. I would be working as a laborer.
And then now the judge is going to give you, can give you up to 8 years in prison or deferred adjudication for up to 10 years. What are you asking to happen?
Judge, I'm asking for the 10 years and just to give me that chance to pay back this restitution. And I just, for one time, have a normal life. I accept everything that I did. I just want to move forward.
This is the climax of the defense. Garcia begs for 10 years of deferred adjudication, claiming he wants to pay restitution and move on. But think about that. Is he asking for a chance to fix his wrongs, or just escape prison time? He says he accepts full responsibility, but it's coming years after the fact and only once he's in court. What would you do if you were the judge?
Were you aware that when the complainant first outcried, the reason the outcry happened when it did is because she was having frequent and violent sexual dreams? Were you aware of that?
No, I have had no.
And here comes a brutal cross-examination. The prosecutor exposes that the victim's trauma, recurring violent dreams, triggered the outcry. The implication that if she had stayed silent, Pete Garcia would have never stepped forward. When asked if he would have confessed on his own, Garcia dances around the question. This moment is critical. It's not just about what happened. It's about when he was willing to take ownership. Powerful stuff.
That there was the touching of the breast with your hands?
I'm sorry, I don't understand.
And I apologize. To put it simply, if she had never outcried, would you have found a way to take accountability for your actions?
If there was something said, then of course, 100% would. I do take accountability for my actions. And like I said, it's been almost 8 years. I have not heard anything until recently. So, of course, yes, I 100%.
No further questions, Your Honor.
All right. So I have a question for both parties. With regards to the restitution amounts, one complainant says the restitution amount is $0. Mejia is saying their restitution amount is $15,000, but that $15,000, they're saying that's the money they borrowed, but that the bank reimbursed them.
That was my understanding.
So
Things get messy when restitution enters the chat. One party claims $155,000 in losses. Another says 0. The judge has to navigate bank reimbursements, interest rates, and legal technicalities. This is where courtroom knowledge really matters, because even if someone caused the financial loss, they might not be legally required to pay it all back. The law can be complicated, and this moment proves it.
I don't think he's responsible for the entirety of the $15,000 if the bank, and it appears from what I'm reading, the bank has given him back the $15,000.
Yes, Your Honor. I would agree with that. Absolutely.
So I don't have a restitution amount for that.
Yes, Your Honor. I believe that is correct. I see exactly what the court is saying, and yeah, I don't believe there would be any restitution remedy available.
Okay. All right. This is what the court is going to do. The court will deny your application. Does anybody want to speak to the cap? The court is going to find you guilty. Anyone want to speak to the cap of 8 years?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
Well, just, Your Honor, we would ask that he, based upon the fact that he has taken.
The courtroom gets quiet. The plea for leniency is on the table, but the judge isn't swayed easily. With emotional testimonies, conflicting financial evidence, and a track record of serious crimes, the gavel is about to drop. Everyone sits holding their breath.
All right, Mr. Garcia, I want to let you know that I read the entirety of the PSI report. I read the police report. And I've seen the ages of the complainant, the age of the complainant in this case. That's an issue for the court. You understand? All right, the court will find you guilty, sentence you to a $1,500 fine, time and money to run concurrent, taking consideration 2023 CR 8852, 2023 CR 8851. There's to be Chapter 62 registration, no contact with the complainant, and either of the cause numbers. The court will sentence you to 8 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. Going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal.
8 years in prison. No probation, no appeals. The judge is clear. The past may be behind you, but accountability doesn't expire. Garcia's house, job, and future plans, irrelevant when the past involves child indecency and a 15-plus year rap sheet. The message is clear. Consequences catch up. no matter how long it takes.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So off the record, I understand that people have regrets about things that they've done in their past. And sometimes we hope that our past won't come back and bite us, right? Because you moved on with your life. I understand it as you're working. I know that that job you had was a great job. I know you have the 30-year mortgage. But when offenses and crimes happen, you have to answer for those. And at some
If you found this case as shocking as we did, hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more jaw-dropping courtroom breakdowns. Until next time, stay informed, stay sharp, and stay tuned.